Hello. I wanted to go over some functionality added in 4.30 around create batches. This release is our March 31st, 2020 release. And specifically, I want to talk about how we come up with the size of the batch, when we scale up a batch, how much raw material we need to use for a given batch. We added some functionality that help you define that a little bit better. From our Create Batches screen, there's actually a Create Batch Setup screen that actually defaults from the facility setup. So you'll see this exact set of data on the facility setup as well. I can also override it for this batch creation like I'm doing now. The top two items down here in the sizing area have been, actually the top three have been in the system for a long time. If you're creating a batch that is bigger than the maximum batch, it will split them equally. Or if you're making a batch bigger than the maximum, it will take it to the maximum and the last batch will be short. Then the other one just basically says if I've got multiple planned orders, I want to I want to make as many batch tickets as there are planned orders, and I want to keep a one-to-one relationship there. What has been added is this section here. Ignore everything I just said and instead use one of these methods. You could use the planned order, which is basically the quantity of the finished good you want to get out. You could use the master formula, this size, weight, or volume that you save the master formula as. That's what it'll use. Or it could use the field called default batch size, which is on the master formula itself. Some people choose the master formula to be at a base 100, so for say base by weight, so percent by weight, and then they might use the default batch size as a standard batch size for them. But you can, however, whatever values you use, that's what the system's doing. So let's go ahead and pick up one of these planned orders. And I've got this one set to go based on the master formula. We'll just say create batches. And the master formula is at 7 gallons or about 78 pounds. That's the batch automatically got sized to that level. If I change my setting, instead of looking at it by master formula, I can set it by the default batch size and do the same thing. The system will now create this batch based on my default batch size. In this case, it's 250 gallons. Well, I've got set up on my master formula that I like to make this 250 gallons at a time, and the system has now suggested a batch of that size. Now, one thing to be careful about is it's not trying to make a batch to fit the end item anymore. Now you're saying that the batch creation needs to be a function of the size of the raw material going in. So we're now able to control what the source of that is, either the master formula or the default batch size. So take a look at it, play around with it, see what you get. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and we're happy to walk you through it.